Hi there, welcome to my views and news. More than a year ago, around a year ago, civil war broke out in Sudan. Military was suffering losses. Last year, it lost several key cities, but things changed this year. Drones from Iran are changing the battlefield balance in support of Sudanese military. Secondly, while Iranian drones are operating in Sudan, Sudanese weapons or weapons supplied from Sudan are entering Ethiopia, Amhara region of Ethiopia. Several shipments of weapons captured in Amhara region in the last few days. Thirdly, Ethiopia is opening its economy to foreign investors. Liberalization of economy is a stated goal of Ethiopian PM Abiy's government. New sectors of economy have been opened to foreign investors. What will be the impact of this decision on local businessmen, local entrepreneurs, and business companies? Firstly, about Sudan. People say, Sajid, you're not covering Sudan's civil war now. Have you lost interest? Do you have no sources there? Are you not interested in this conflict? I am aware of major developments in Sudan, but I am not able to cover this conflict in detail because I have to cover what I've been covering for 3 years, more than 3, and that is Ethiopia, Eritrea, now a little bit Somalia as well. So that is why I am not able to cover Sudanese civil war completely, but I keep you updated with major developments. I told you, by the way, a few weeks ago that battlefield balance was tilting a little in favor of Sudanese military. Military had retaken some territories on one point. At one time, it seemed as if RSF were sweeping towards Ethiopian border, Eritrean border. They had captured large parts of Bari, Khartoum, Darman, almost entire Darfur, except a few cities. But then things changed. What happened? Why did the military, how did the military manage to retake territories? Who helped Sudanese military? Well, Sudanese military last year used local drones, not modern combat drones, but in December and January, military acquired modern combat drones. Ababil and Mohajer 6 Iranian drones were delivered to Sudanese military, reportedly. It is being confirmed, but if you remember, I told you about some visits between some meetings between top Iranian and Sudanese military officials. I think Burhan was expected to visit Iran. He did not visit, but we saw high-level contacts between Sudanese and Iranian leaders. After that, some flights of an Iranian airlines were monitored arriving in Sudan in December last year and January this year. Babil and Mohajer 6 Iranian drones were delivered to Sudanese military. Before that, reportedly, Sudanese military officers went to Iran. There they were trained about how to operate the drones. And after that, the Sudanese military launched operations to retake territories. RSF started suffering losses. Wad Sayyidina base, which is to the north of Khartoum, reportedly is being used as a place for deploying these drones. And from there, the drones are being used to conduct very precise strikes on RSF positions. That is why the Sudan military managed to almost clear Darman. Darman was under RSF control, but in recent months, we saw that military took control of Darman. parts of Bari to Khartoum, parts of Khartoum as well. Now, military has launched operation to push RSF out of Al Jazeera state. So, RSF is now on the back foot. It is suffering losses. It is withdrawing from territories. It has to withdraw. Can RSF acquire modern drones as well? Difficult for us, RSF. RSF can acquire drones from the UAE, but UAE is under pressure. Already under pressure. UAE is being accused of supporting RSF. And a few days ago, Sudanese government, led by the military, lodged a formal complaint with the UN Security Council against the UAE that UAE was arming, sponsoring, financing, backing rapid support forces. UAE is not in a position to deliver modern combat drones to rapid support forces. Sudanese military seems to be on the offensive. RSF is suffering losses. Let's see. Drones can only be counted by drones, by the way. RSF will have to acquire drones or it will continue suffering losses. We saw that Turkish drones changed the battlefield balance in support of Ethiopian government in the 2-year-long war in northern Ethiopia. Mainly Turkish combat drones, TB2s, and a little bit of Chinese Winglongs as well, provided to Ethiopian government by Turkey and the UAE. Here in Sudan, Iranian drones are changing the battlefield balance in support of Sudan. By the way, Ethiopia also acquired Iranian drones, Amhara 6, but Amhara 6 were not very effective in Ethiopia, and that is why Ethiopia then acquired more modern Winglongs and very modern, the latest ones, TB2s, and after that, last year Ethiopia acquired a Kinji as well. Let's see how RSF defends now. RSF is now defending, and Sudanese military is on the offensive. By the way, Iran and Sudanese military, they have not confirmed, they have not admitted that drone deliveries have been made, but drones are in operation reportedly in Sudan. Iranian drones. Secondly, viewers, Iranian drones in operation in Sudan and weapons delivered from Sudan being used in the Amhara region. Who are the likely recipients of these weapon shipments? Most likely Fano fighters. Fano fighters are in need of small arms. Mostly they're armed with the small arms, and several arms shipments have been captured in Western Gondar or on their way from Western Gondar to Bahirdar to Gondar in recent weeks. Military is conducting surveillance, monitoring the main road from Sudan to Gondar, Sudan to Bahirdar, and several shipments have been captured. We know that arms traffickers, arms sellers are operating in Sudan. These sellers acquire weapons mainly from Yemen. Then they enter Sudan by sea and near Ethiopian border. These arms smugglers are based where Ethiopian groups are their customers. Several Ethiopian groups have been purchasing weapons from these arms smugglers in Sudan. Sudan-Ethiopia border cannot be fully manned by Ethiopian forces. It's difficult to man the entire border. That is why arms somehow creep into Ethiopia from Sudan. Yesterday, military showed hundreds of Turkey-made guns captured near Bahirdar. The weapon shipment came from Sudan. This is second or third shipment of weapons captured by Ethiopian military, which entered Ethiopia from Sudan. Obviously, these shipments are not using regular routes. Several secondary routes and roads are used by arms smugglers to enter Ethiopia from Sudan. But weaponization of the Amhara region of Ethiopia one of the reasons behind this weaponization is the presence of arms smugglers operating in Sudan on Sudan-Ethiopia border. Thirdly, viewers, PM Abiy's government is in need of hard cash. Everyone knows that. Government is in talks with IMF, World Bank. World Bank pledged some support a few days ago. IMF in talks. And Ethiopian government is liberalizing the economy, opening economy to foreign investors. A few days ago, PM Abiy's government announced that foreigners can now buy real estate in Ethiopia. So real estate sector was opened a little to foreigners. Now, second decision by the government that several other sectors of economy have been opened to foreign investors. Export, import, retail, and wholesale sectors are being opened. Foreign investors will be able to export coffee, oil seeds, animal hides, etc. They will be able to import as well different items except petroleum and fertilizers. They can invest in retail sector as well. What will be the impact of this decision on local entrepreneurs, local business companies? Difficult to say. Obviously, it will be difficult for local entrepreneurs to match the finance and the technology of international companies. But this decision will help Ethiopian businesses to learn from foreign companies, and secondly, government will get much needed hard cash. So let's see, government is opening the economy to investors, foreign investors, and we know that later this year, Ethiopian stock exchange is about to be inaugurated, and for that, the government is attracting foreign investment. A Nigerian stock exchange company and some other foreign investors have agreed to invest in Ethiopian stock exchange, and five Ethiopian state-owned institutions are collecting money. I am writing in detail about the establishment of Ethiopian Stock Exchange on my website, myviewsonnews.net. If you want to be updated about what is happening in terms of establishment of stock exchange, please read my article there. There I am updating the section called ESX, Ethiopian Stock Exchange, regularly about the establishment of Ethiopian Stock Exchange. Thank you for watching.